financial freedom is nice, but financial wholeness is better, because financial wholeness allows you to build such a strong financial foundation.
Hello, everyone. I am so excited about season 2 of Onward and Upward with Leslie E. Royal. I'm Leslie, and I will be interviewing several exceptional Black women who are making a significant difference in their communities. One such remarkable woman is Tiffany the Budgetnista Aliche, a personal finance expert and the author of Get Good with Money. Tiffany, welcome to season 2 of Onward and Upward with Leslie E. Royal.
Hi, Leslie. Thank you for having me.
Hello, Miss Tiffany. It is a pleasure having you. I tell you, Miss Tiffany, the Budgetnista, um, when we were discussing the wonderful guests who would be on season 2 of Onward and Upward, you were one of the names that was at the top of my list. And I know you've been really busy, and I am so very grateful and thankful that you could join us today.
Well, I'm grateful that you always think of me. You know, you wrote the very first article I ever had written about me. You wrote it about me for Black Enterprise, and it changed my life. So I'm always glad to come on back.
Thank you so much. And that is so kind of you to say. Now, you made my day. I didn't have to put on blush today because you got me blushing up a storm. Thank you so very much for sharing that. And in addition to Black Enterprise, I actually had an opportunity to interview you for Essence as well.
Yes, you did.
And I love that in spite of all the amazing things that you do, I mean, in addition to all of the amazing things that you do and how well, you're just on everything. When I turn on the TV, I see everything. When I open the newspaper or magazine, I read you. And when I'm online, I read about you. But you maintain that humility. You maintain that kindness. And whenever I reach out to you, you always respond. Even if you can't join me for what I'm doing, you always respond. And I think that's so very kind of you.
Oh, no, I think that I believe if I can't join, sometimes I'll suggest someone else, but I just think that it's the right thing to do, whether I knew you or didn't know you. If someone sends me an email, I just feel like it's just good manners to reply, even if the answer is I can't right now, and here's some alternatives. So I don't take it for granted that folks like you reach out to me, because if not, I mean, Essence is the magazine for Black women. Black Enterprise, you don't know, you might be blocking your blessing by not exercising kindness. I mean, those were huge. I remember Black Enterprise in particular, it was a spread on the inside.
Yes, it was.
And I remember I was one of 3 people that they were choosing between who was going to make the cover. And I didn't make the cover, but to even be considered, that would not have happened without you. I didn't know that at the time, but just imagine if you might be brushing someone off, not realizing that the thing that you've been asking for is through that person. So kindness should always be on the menu.
That is so very true. You are right about that. You are one wise woman. So thank you so very much for that. And I've got a lot of questions for you. We don't have a lot of time, but I do have a lot of questions.
Okay.
But before we get to my questions, I would love to hear a little about you.
Okay. Well, it's been about 10 years, a little over 10 years since I started the Budgetnista. We've been able to help well over 1 million women. It's been amazing. Also, I've written a law, the Budgetnista law, making financial education mandatory. I started an online school, the Literature Academy. We serve about 40,000 women there. I have a podcast, Brown Ambition, where it's been 5 years for that. There's just so many amazing ways for me to extend what I believe is truly my calling and my purpose and my blessing, which is to teach. So any way that I can teach, I look for ways to do so. And most recently, my newest book, Get Good with Money, it is a new extension of me being able to teach something that I like to call financial wholeness. And that's just when all of the aspects of your life, there's 10 in particular, that work together to make the best financial life possible for you. It allows you to have your greatest good your biggest benefit in your richest life. And so, yeah, it's been a busy 10 years, but a delightful 10 years.
It's been a blessing for sure. I've been following you. You got married. How is
Yes.
Superman?
Yeah, he was just texting me, I love you.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
It's been
I
awesome.
love that. I
Yes,
tell
he
you,
is a supportive, amazing husband.
that is such a blessing. I tell you, my husband and I have so many sweet names for each other. And then the fact that you call him Superman, I think that is so cool. And you're like, Superman, and I got married.
I guess. And then so I call, because I have a stepdaughter now, and so I call her Supergirl. And so yeah, it's been awesome.
Well, congratulations to you
Thank
both.
you.
You are most deserving. And I tell you, you are an humble woman, and I knew that you would be. Therefore, I've got these little notes here. I do. And I just want to take a minute to share.
Okay.
You are a much sought after personal finance expert. So much so, you mentioned the cover of Black Enterprise a little while ago when I interviewed you, and you were not on the cover, but you are now on the cover,
yes,
of Money Magazine.
I know. I forgot. Yes, the February edition of Money Magazine, the first Black woman to do so solo. And so that was just tremendous. But yeah, it totally slipped my mind.
Congratulations to you, my sister.
Thank you.
And when I saw it, I told my husband, she's on the cover of Money Magazine. He goes, who? I said, the Budgetnista. I interviewed her before, you remember?
Yeah.
He goes, yes. So congratulations on that. But in addition to that, you've been featured in Time Magazine.
Yes.
The Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, Reader's Digest, USA Today, Cosmo, InStyle, Forbes, U.S. News and World Report, and many, many more publications. And you have made personal, you're so good. You have made personal appearances on the likes of Fox Business Network, The Real, which is one of our favorite daytime talk shows, Good Morning America, The Today Show, MSNBC, PBS, CNN, CBS, and the OWN network. So I'm going to stop before I embarrass you any further. But how did you come to be America's favorite personal finance expert?
Honestly, I don't know. I think that people are wanting to learn about money in a way that is doable, achievable, actionable. And Leslie, I used to be a school teacher for over 10 years before I became the Budgetnista. And I just got really good at teaching, And so for me, what I know about myself is once I know a thing, I can teach a thing, So mastering my finances has helped me to help others master their own. And I also think that I've always knew, like right out of college, I knew that I wanted to live a life of service. I had seen how much my parents give back to their community, and I wanted to extend that in my own life. And so teaching financial education has been just that. And I think people can feel when you actually care about them. And as a result, they've shared me over and over and over and over again. So it's just been such a blessing. So I think it's the ability to teach, but also the desire to want to reach and serve other people that's helped me to transform into what I'm doing now.
Oh, yes. And I am certainly a witness. I follow you in just about everything that you do. And you are truly the epitome of a servant leader. And we're so happy about that. Now, tell us a little about Get Good with Money. I love that title. And the subtitle is 10 Steps to Becoming Financially Whole. I like that because you could have said 10 steps to becoming financially free.
Yes.
Tell us why the subtitle is 10 steps to becoming financially whole.
Well, because I realized, so as a teacher, I found that I was helping all of these women and they were doing well in specific subject matters, but holistically, they were not. Like women would say, I raised my credit score, but I would find out she didn't have any savings. Or I paid off my debt, but I would find out she wasn't investing. or I'm making money, but I would find out she doesn't have an estate plan. And I realized even for myself that I had reached financial freedom, meaning if I didn't want to work anymore, I didn't have to, but I was a whole financial mess, And so I thought, is financial freedom really the answer? And is there a better way to teach and transform people's lives financially? And I realized that what was missing is that I was looking at things individually and not coming up with a complete game plan. And so as I started to fix my life and realize that financial freedom is nice, but financial wholeness is better, because financial wholeness allows you to build such a strong financial foundation that even if it's shaken, it's like a house in California. It's built for earthquakes. And even if it's shaken by pandemic, even if it's shaken by quarantine, even if it's shaken by recession, even if it's shaken by job loss, it still stands strong. And so that's what financial wholeness allows. It's when these 10 financial steps, which I'll go through, work together to create a solid financial foundation that cannot be easily shaken. So those steps are budget building, 1, 2, saving like a squirrel, 3, digging your way out of debt, 4, scoring high as it relates to your credit score, having a credit score of 740 or better, 5, learning how to earn, increasing your income, 6, investing like an insider, so investing for both retirement and for wealth, 7, getting good with insurance. Insurance is protection for you and your assets. 8, growing rich-ish. This is your net worth. Owning more than you owe, right? 9, picking your money team, right? So you're wanting to have financial pros on your team. And 10, last but not least, definitely important, leaving a legacy, estate planning. Because when it's all said and done, what will happen to your things and your estate and your assets when you're no longer here? So those are the 10 steps. So I realized that you could just be number 8, net worth, and be like, woohoo, I've got a positive net worth. I've put aside $1 million. It's so great. But none of these, if all these other things are not in place, then something really bad could happen and that can crumble. We've seen it. We've seen like wealthy people, football players or entertainers or business owners, right, grow great wealth, and then something traumatic happens and it falls to the ground. It's because there was a lack of financial wholeness. And so that's what I've really been leaning into, that financial freedom, likely only a small group of people will ever achieve financial freedom, meaning never having to work again. But everyone can achieve financial wholeness. Preschool teacher Tiffany can achieve financial wholeness. Writer Leslie can achieve financial wholeness. Football player, mechanic, business owner, financial wholeness. I always say financial freedom is for a few and financial wholeness is for everyone. And that's what my book, Get Good with Money, is all about. It walks you through step by step to achieving financial wholeness.
Wow, that is amazing. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it. Financial freedom is for a few. Mm-hmm. Financial wholeness is for everyone. We can all have it.
Yes.
Yes, and I look forward to getting good with money. So I'm going to get that book. Yes, ma'am, I will. Now, one of the other favorite things that I like about you is that you really engage us on social media. Mm-hmm. Particularly in our Facebook group, which is called Dream Catchers. Yes. Live Richer with the Budgetnista.
Yes.
And I love that you allow us to, because you can teach us all day, which is perfect. We want you to do that. Mm-hmm. But you allow us to share with each other.
Yes.
Right? And so all of those 10 things that you were talking about, I might share number 1, someone may share number 2, someone may share number 7. We do that perpetually all day, every day. Mm-hmm. Tell us why it was important for you to start that group and how can the rest of us be a part of it?
So I started that group, Leslie, because I knew that one of the things that helped me break out of the financial trauma I was experiencing after the 2008 recession. I lost my job. I lost my home. I lost my savings, my retirement account. It was very devastating. Was my friend Linda. So I'd been avoiding my friends because I was embarrassed that I'd lost all of these things. And Linda would been calling me, and I'd been avoiding her because I didn't want to tell her. So finally I did. And I was so upset. And she said, that's it. She said, girl, half of us have lost our jobs. half of us have lost our homes, and she made it seem like it's not a big deal. It doesn't mean that you're not bad, because the problem, Leslie, is that I was feeling shame, and shame is a liar. Shame tells you you're bad, Tiffany, because you made a mistake, not that there's a mistake that was made. Shame judges you, not the choice. And so I needed someone to help me shake free of that shame. And the only way to shake free of shame is to give voice to it, to say it out loud. I did a thing. And so once I did, I released it, because shame, the strength of shame is silence, is alone. The strength of shame is hiding. And so once I told Linda, I gave voice to it and I released it. She gave me the permission I needed to forgive myself. And I realized to myself, how many of us are sitting in the shame and struggling because we have not given voice, because there's no safe space to give voice. So I started Dream Catchers. I would say like Beyonce, like she's got the beehive, right? But like I have the Dream Catchers. And so I wanted to create a safe space where you could find your own Lindas. But there'd be women in there. It's mostly women. We have a handful of guys, but we'd be women in there who are like, oh girl, please, I did that last year. Here's how I fixed it. Or like, credit, let me show you how I fixed my credit. Oh, you spent too much on the babies on Thanksgiving or on Christmas? Me too. Here's how I'm going to fix that as well. Yeah, so I started Dream Catchers to create a safe space for people. And I'm just really proud of it. We're almost 500 women deep.
Yes,
and it's a great place to be.
Worldwide.
Yes, worldwide, over 100 different countries represented.
And it's free for all of us to join.
Yep, it's totally free. It's called Dream Catchers Live Richer with the Budgetnista. That's what it's called on Facebook. It's a private group, meaning you have to request to join, because we want to make sure that when you're sharing your stuff, only the Dream Catchers in there, but we don't turn anyone away. You just request to join and we add you on in.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And it only focuses on us and our finances.
Yes.
So we can't promote our business.
Yes. And I did that on purpose, because at first I used to allow that, but then it became overrun. Yeah. And so I'm like, no, let's just there's literally groups about businesses already.
That's right.
Let's just make this group about personal finances and what you could do to fix them.
I love it. And that's the right thing. And we're all interested in what each person has to say daily. Mm-hmm. So thank you for starting that group. My daughter is a member of it.
Awesome.
My sisters are members. I've got friends. I've got sorority sisters that are members of it, and they love it. They love it. So thank you so very much for that. Now you just mentioned the adversity that you faced in life, and you have a really compelling story, and I so admire you for sharing that with me initially in the Black Enterprise interview. And you shared, I believe it was your sister's sofa.
Yeah.
That you were sleeping on when you had lost your home. Yeah. And so when you faced that adversity and any other adversity since then, how did you deal with it? And how would you encourage us to deal with the adversity that we face?
So at first it was, I lost everything, my finances and my job, and I moved back home with my parents for a few months. But being grown, living with your parents, it was hard. My dad still tried to give me a curfew. I was like, I'm 20. He was like, I don't care, it's my house. I said, I'll take my sister's couch.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, so it was, honestly, it was really hard, because I felt very down on myself. But I've learned since then, and it's still a struggle, to be what I like to call a paper towel person. And so growing up, like my dad and I have very similar personalities. If I were to spill something as a little kid, he's more the fusser, like, oh my goodness, my parents are Nigerian. You're so clumsy. You have to be careful. We don't have juice to waste, and la, 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 la. So that's me. I make a financial mistake. My natural inclination is to be like, Tiffany, come on. What are you doing? You do better. So fussing at myself. My mother, you would spill something and she would just go ahead and pick up a paper towel and give it to you. None of the fussing, and I just remember thinking like, wow, what a difference. Because like I said, my natural tendency is to fuss. But what happens after my father finished fussing about spilling the juice? He would go and get me a paper towel anyway. So I thought, well, why don't we just get to the solution? Why don't we just, like, mommy, why don't I practice that when something does happen, to practice saying, I get it. You spilled this thing. You used your card too much. You didn't pay off that debt. You forgot to do the, okay. Well, we're not going to spend time and energy here. We're going to get straight to the paper towel, the solution. And so, Leslie, that's what I've tried to practice, that when things are going really, not according to plan, trying not to spend so much time beating myself up, instead really focusing on, well, what are you going to do? It's the okay, and I know you messed up. Okay, and I know you should have done this. Okay, and if you focus on the solutions, you will get to you will fix them so much faster. So, and then again, too, making sure that I'm not alone. That's why, like I said, if you don't have, you might say, well, I don't have, accountability partner, or I don't really have somebody I can trust. That's why we have groups like Dream Catchers, because then you can go there and share, give voice to your shame. Not only give voice to your shame, but also find solutions there. Because someone's going to say, me too, girl. I'm either currently doing it or I fixed that last year. Here's how. Like literally one of the rules in the group is to show your work. It's like being a teacher, right? Like you can't just say, and when, like this is how I did the multiplication table. I want to see your work. Mm-hmm. So I share when people post that they've done something amazing, I tell them, please show your work, because someone is reading it and saying, how did they buy a house? Mm-hmm. Oh, look at the work that they've done. Yeah. And so that's what I would say. If you're feeling really disheartened or down of the mistakes that you made, practice trying to be a paper towel person. Find a safe space, place, or person that you can lean into to give voice to this fear and this shame, and then start putting a plan into place. If you don't know where to start, you can certainly start with us.
Excellent. Oh my goodness. Yes, there's a reason that you had to be here.
Yeah.
And thank you so much. And I love, love, love that analogy. Become a paper towel person. Mm-hmm. Just go ahead. We're going to make mistakes in life. We're going to make mistakes in our finances and everything else. Just stop, recognize it, and clean it up.
Exactly.
From you and your mom and your dad.
Yes, my dad. Yes. My dad is Rondi Aliche, and my mother is Sylvia Aliche.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, tell them we said hello and that they raised a brilliant woman.
Yeah, thank you.
So we thank them for their gift to the world.
Thank you.
God's gift to the world through them. Yes.
And it's so funny because my Nigerian name it's Igbo. It's Odochi. It means God's gift.
Oh, beautiful. Mm-hmm. And you are truly God's gift. Uh-huh. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, now tell me, Miss Tiffany, the Budgetnista, what does onward and upward mean to you?
Onward and upward means that despite what may have happened, despite whatever mistakes you might have experienced, or despite whatever trauma you might have felt, that there is always the promise of a brighter day. And that if you will just put one foot in front of the other and commit to doing something, you have the capacity of achieving everything.
Oh, wonderful. I love that. I love it. I love it. I tell you, our time today has been too short. And I thank you for taking time out of a really busy schedule to speak with me. Now, I'm sure you've got some wonderful things on the horizon. Mm-hmm. Some maybe you can share, some maybe not. So is there anything that you'd like to share about projects that you're working on in the future?
Sure. So you never know, but definitely a lot of production companies have reached out to me about potentially doing a show. So we'll see. Of course, you guys know my book, Get Good with Money, 10 Simple Steps to Becoming Financially Whole. That's available at getgoodwithmoney.com. And yeah, I'm trying to think and there's another law I'm actually working on with my friend Angela V. McKnight. She's an assemblywoman. And this one is about appraisals, because Black and Hispanic homes are under appraised at alarming rates. And so we're working on a law to make that illegal in the state of New Jersey. So the law, potentially a show, and definitely my book, Get Good with Money, available at getgoodwithmoney.com.
Excellent, excellent. So we look forward to following you, and if we know you like I think I know you, that law is going to get passed, just like the last law. And we're praying, crossing our fingers for that new show.
Thank you.
And Get Good with Money. That's a book that I'm going to be getting. And so certainly encourage others to get it as well. And could you share again the website that they will that they will go to order that book?
Yes, you can go to getgoodwithmoney.com.
Excellent, excellent. So we're ready to get good with money. And we want to follow you. We want the conversation to keep going
Okay.
well after this interview. And so, would you like to share any of your websites and social media pages and social media handles?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Leslie. I am the Budgetnista everywhere. Thebudgetnista.com, the Budgetnista on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. So I'm on the Budgetnista everywhere. So I love to, especially on social media, I love to stay connected.
Excellent, excellent. And the name of our Facebook group, once again, and how we would get invited to become a member of it.
So you would go to Facebook and literally, just in the search box type Dream Catchers Live Richer with the Budgetnista. But once you start typing Dream Catchers, it likely will pop up. And so you click to join, and we will invite you in with open arms.
I love it. I love it. And I will always love that name, Dream Catchers,
Yes.
because we all want to follow our dreams and get richer with the Budgetnista. And thank you so much for your concern for us and our wholeness, and for us reaching that next level.
Well, I thank you, Leslie, for having me.
It's my pleasure. And you have a wonderful day.
You too.
See you later.